Is this the iPad Pro killer, or just another paperweight with a fancy screen? Everyone's talking about OLED this and ultra-thin that, but Huawei just dropped the MatePad 11.5S 2026, and it's making a very specific promise, a professional-grade creative experience for a fraction of the cost. But here's the thing. Huawei updated the RAM, boosted the charging, and kept that famous PaperMatte display. But is it enough to make you forget about the lack of Google services in 2026? Or is the hardware so good you just won't care? This is NexLab Reviews, and today we're tearing down the truth behind the MatePad 11.5S. Let's get into it. First things first, the build. At just 6.1 millimeters thin and weighing about 515 grams, this thing is basically a digital legal pad. Huawei is sticking with the all-metal integrated body, and honestly, it feels premium. You've got two colors here, a very clean space gray and this lush green that actually looks professional, not toyish. The curves are smooth, the grip is solid, and it doesn't feel like it's going to snap in your backpack. But, devil's advocate moment, it looks almost identical to the 2024 model. If you were hoping for a radical design shift, you're going to be disappointed. Huawei clearly thinks they nailed the look the first time, so they're playing it safe here. Now, let's talk about the display, because this is why you'd actually buy this tablet. It's an 11.5-inch LCD, but wait, before you complain it's not OLED, listen to the specs. We're looking at a 2.8K resolution, 2800 by 1840, with a 3.2 aspect ratio. That 3.2 ratio is the golden ratio for productivity. It gives you way more vertical room for reading documents or editing photos compared to those skinny 16 by 10 screens. But the S factor is the PaperMatte technology. Huawei uses a nano-level etching process that eliminates 99% of light interference. If you've ever tried to work in a coffee shop next to a window, you know the struggle of seeing your own face more than your work. Here, that reflection is gone. Plus, it has a 144 Hz adaptive refresh rate. It can scale from 30 Hz to save battery all the way up to 144 Hz for buttery smooth scrolling. Critical thought. Here's the trade-off. Because it's a matte LCD, you aren't getting those inky blacks you get on an OLED. And at 500 nits of brightness, it's good, but it's not burning your retinas bright. If you're a hardcore HDR movie watcher, the matte texture might make things look a tiny bit less crisp than a glossy screen. You're trading pop for comfort. Inside, Huawei finally gave us what we asked for, 12 gigabytes of RAM. The previous model was stuck at 8 gigabytes, which was fine, but for a creator tablet in 2026, 12 gigabytes is the new baseline. You can choose between 256 gigabytes or 512 gigabytes of storage. And let's be real, go for the 512 gigabytes if you're planning on downloading 4K video for editing. It runs HarmonyOS 4.3, which is Huawei's smoothest OS yet. Is it fast? Yes. Does it lag? Rarely. But here is the elephant in the room, the Kirin chipset. While it's plenty powerful for 95% of users, if you're looking to play the most demanding AAA mobile games at max settings, you might find the absolute top-tier iPads still have the edge in raw GPU power. But for multitasking, with those floating windows where you can stack and resize apps like a desktop, it's a beast. Let's be honest, nobody buys an 11.5-inch tablet to take sunset photos at the beach. But in 2026, the cameras on the MatePad 11.5S 2026 are less about art and more about utility. On the back, you've got a 13-megapixel sensor, f1.8, with autofocus. It's snappy, and in good lighting, the colors actually pop without looking fake. Its real superpower, though, is scanning documents. If you're a student or a pro, you'll use this every day to digitize notes or receipts. It's fast, the AI handles the perspective correction perfectly, and it's arguably more useful than the camera on your phone for this specific task. Then there's the 8-megapixel front camera. It's positioned on the long edge, where it should be, making your video calls look natural rather than giving everyone a view of your nostrils. It's sharp enough for your 9 a.m. meetings or online classes, and it handles indoor lighting better than most mid-range laptops. Critical perspective. But here's the NexLab reality. It's 2026, and we still don't have 4K video recording here. You're capped at 1080p at 30 FPS. Also, that front camera is fixed focus, so if you lean in too close to show off a detail, things get blurry fast. It's a good enough setup, but if you were expecting a vlogging powerhouse, you're looking at the wrong device. It's a workhorse for the office and the classroom, nothing more. If you're an artist, pay attention. Huawei developed their own professional painting app called GoPaint, and it's pre-installed. We're talking over 100 professional brushes and a Fangtian painting engine that supports a massive number of layers without the tablet breaking a sweat. When you pair this with the Huawei M Pencil 3 generation, the experience changes. This stylus uses NearLink technology, not just standard Bluetooth. Why does that matter? NearLink offers 10,000 levels of pressure sensitivity and way lower latency. When the pencil touches that nano-etched PaperMatte screen, it gives you this micro vibration that feels like a real pencil on real paper. Devil's advocate. The stylus is often sold separately depending on your region, so while the software is free, the full experience will cost you an extra trip to the checkout. For the students and the work-from-anywhere crowd, the Huawei Notes app has a party trick. It can now recognize and solve equations for you. You write it out, and the AI handles the math. It's also got AI handwriting enhancement to make your messy scribbles look like a font. And let's talk about this keyboard. It's detachable. You can keep it snapped on for a laptop feel, or pull it off and keep it on your desk while you prop the tablet up at a distance. Because it's also powered by NearLink, the connection is rock solid. The key travel is 1.5 millimeters, which is actually better than some laptops. Battery life has always been a Huawei strong suit, and they didn't skimp here. We've got 8,800 milliamp hour battery. That's easily a full day of heavy use, classes, meetings, and a couple of hours of Netflix at night. But the big S upgrade for 2026 is the charging. We finally moved up to 40-watt SuperCharge. The previous version was slow to top up, but now you can get back to work much faster. Critical thought. Is 40 watts lightning fast in 2026? Some phones are doing 120 watts. On a tablet, this is big. I would have loved to see 66 watts, but 40 watts is a massive step up from the old 22.5. So, here's the NexLab bottom line. The HUAWEI MatePad 11.5S 2026 is a specialized tool. If you are a student who takes thousands of notes or an artist who hates the slippery feel of glass screens, this is probably the best hardware you can buy right now. The 12GB RAM and 144Hz screen make it feel like a flagship. But let's be honest about the hurdles. You are living in the HarmonyOS ecosystem. While SuperHub makes transferring files between your Huawei phone and PC a dream, if you're deeply tied to Google Drive, Docs, and the Play Store, you're going to be doing some workarounds. Is the hardware worth the software hustle? For this price point, around 479 to 529 euros, it's hard to find anything with a screen this comfortable and a stylus this responsive. Huawei isn't trying to beat everyone at everything. They're trying to be the best digital paper on the market. And on that front, they might have just won. But what do you think? Would you trade an OLED screen for a PaperMatte one? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more honest tech reviews. This is NexLab Reviews, and I'll catch you in the next one.